beauties, my name is Jazz and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is a playlist I call Amaza Beauty, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you how I did these knotless soft locks. For product, as usual, I'm using the Shine and Jam Braiders Jam, and for the hair I'm using this FREETRESS Pop and Twist hair for wrapping, and the locks are the FREETRESS BONA locks in a 34-inch. For the knotless faux locks, you don't need any tools except for your comb. What I'm doing now is I'm opening the loop on the lock and I'm just going to park it onto my finger. And now I'm going to begin to braid this like I would normally. And once I braid down a couple of times, I just take the lock and slip it onto one of the pieces of hair, and then I just continue to braid down. I find that not using the crochet hook makes the process go a lot faster, and also sometimes the crochet hook or crocheting the lock into the person's hair can be a little uncomfortable for your client. So now I'm going to wrap the lock as I normally would, and this is what I'm using the pop and twist hair for, and I'm also going to make sure that none of that blonde is peeking through as I wrap. I've done a regular crochet soft lock video on my channel before, and I'll link it somewhere right here. But in that past video, I actually used glue to seal the end of the braids, and it's really not needed. The end of the hair kind of tapers off, so if you just continue to wrap down, it will pretty much seal itself. But you can do a little palm roll at the end if you would like. But since I've switched to not using glue, I've never had anyone's locks unravel. Here I am again, just showing how I actually get the lock onto the braid. I'm going to show this several times throughout the video just in case someone is a visual learner or the way that I'm explaining it isn't really doing it for you. Once I braid down a couple of times after I get the lock on, I just like to pull it down a little bit to make sure that it's underneath the braid. And whether you're doing knotless soft locks or the regular crochet soft locks, I don't find it necessary to braid the person's real hair all the way down, as long as you make sure that their real hair is completely covered with the wrapping hair. So I tried wrapping a few different ways. I was having a little difficulty with keeping the blonde hair from poking out, or you could just see it a little bit in between where I was wrapping. So here I folded the pop and twist hair in half, and I was trying to basically lay one half over her braid and keep it covered that way as I wrapped. It kind of worked, but the blonde would still peek through. I tried wrapping a different way later on, which I will show you, but this got the job done. If there was any blonde peeking through after I finished wrapping, I just went back through with a smaller piece of wrapping hair and covered it up that way. So I wanted to show you how to do a few braids beginning to end from putting the lock on and wrapping, but now I kind of was just putting on the lock and moving on to the next braid and coming back and wrapping. Sorry this part of the video is kind of off-center, but I wanted to leave it in just to show you how I'm doing the free parts. I really like this method. I usually do the brick lay method, but the free parts are a lot quicker. So as you can see, I kind of just part out one row and put some product on each braid to keep it separated, and I just keep moving on like that. And even though I'm free parting, as you can see, I'm still kind of bricklaying and making sure that each lock is kind of sitting in the middle of the locks underneath it. It's basically the same concept, they're just not square parts. So if you guys didn't notice, I changed the name of my YouTube channel from Amaza Beauty to Watch Jazz Work. And Amaza Beauty is still a playlist on my channel, but I wanted to do other things on my channel besides hair. But just like I made the Amaza Beauty playlist, all of the other things that I put up here will have their own playlist. So you could just watch the videos that you're interested in and leave the rest of the playlist alone if you want to. But you may be interested in some of the other things I'm going to be talking about, so just be on the lookout for that. So this is just a quick view of the back of her head so you can see how the rows and parting are going. And here I'm starting to part the next row. So here I am just continuing to put the locks on. And you might be wondering why we're using black hair anyway, but basically Lauren had some packs of hair on hand and her roots grew out, so we just figured we could go ahead and roll with it. But I'm not gonna lie, hiding that blonde was a chore. It really was. So even with me being diligent, wrapping it the first time, the blonde was still poking out a little bit on some of the braids, or some of the locks, should I say. So as I mentioned before, I would take a small piece of hair and go back and wrap over those spots. I really wanted to be careful to not have too much wrapping hair on the lock, because that would make it bulky and, you know, they wouldn't really have a lot of movement. So that was the hardest part about hiding the blonde hair. One thing that did help me hide the hair a little better was kind of fluffing the braiding hair out over the lock as I wrapped. So this video is seeming kind of redundant to me. Let me know down in the comments if it's seeming redundant to you, seeing the same thing over and over, or if it's helpful. I've received comments before saying that the videos were kind of short, so I was trying to make this more detailed, more close up, so you can see everything that I'm doing. But I'm kind of running out of things to say, so I think I'm just going to be quiet and let you guys watch me install these locks for the remainder of the video.
Just annoying me, and I'm too about it. And the dirt that they threw on my name turned to soil, and I grew about it. Time for y'all to figure out what y'all gonna do about it. Big wheels keep rolling, rolling. I'm outside, 29, G5, seaside. I've been losing friends and finding peace, but honestly, that sounds like a fair trade to me. If I ever heard one, and I'm still here outside, front line. Southside, I've been losing friends and finding peace. Honestly, that sound like a fair trade.
Hopefully in this clip you can see what I mean by kind of fluffing the hair out over the braid as I go down. And also, as I get to the very bottom of Lauren's real hair, I'm making sure to hold that down and wrap over it. I don't want her hair to get mingled up with the twist hair, because, you know, it could possibly get cut when she's taking it out. So this is when I switched up the way I was wrapping the hair. Before, I was folding the pop and twist hair in half, but then I started to notice if I do like a short side and a long side and lay the short side on the braid, that would give me more hair to wrap, and I could get it closer together to hide the blonde hair, if that makes sense. Sorry, I did the best I could to explain that. Here, I've pretty much gotten all of the locks in, and I'm just going back and wrapping the remaining ones. And this is just a short clip of me showing you how I go back in and rewrap to cover any blonde that's poking out. And here is the finished product. I just wanted you guys to see those parts. And thank you so much for watching this video. I know it's been a while since I posted one, but I was finishing up my semester. Things were getting hectic, but I'm back on it. So thank you for watching again, and make sure you come back and check out my next video. Bye, beauties.